Welcome everybody to another episode of Growing Up Kayfabe. Welcome back. We are now past Survivor Series, the last PLE of the year. And I want to thank you guys for joining in. I'm talking some wrestle talk from the last PLE of the year. As always, I want to remind you guys before you start watching, you go down to the show notes down below. You can hit the timestamps to go to exactly the spot in the show that you want to listen to the most. You can also, while you're down there, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share out to a wrestling friend or family member in your life. And I would greatly appreciate that. Also, as you know, around here, we are the YEET and NO YEET of Wrestling Podcast, the Yes and No of Wrestling Podcast. And we are here to bring you the coverage from the past week of wrestling, including any major PLEs, which would be Survivor Series 2025 this time. So, before I get into any of this at all, I want to start by saying that this is definitely a losing battle conversation I'm about to have. It's simply just raging to just rage out into the ether. But holy shit, we're all aware of YouTube ads. We're all aware of ads in general, just ads being a problem. You gotta pay to not have this ad issue. I'm aware, okay? I'm fully understanding that that's how this works. What I wasn't aware of is how much ads will play for certain types of things. So like on YouTube, for example, if you're watching anything that is from the WWE YouTube channel, you are going to get infinitely more ads than you would watching GMM or Death Battle or a music video or something, where you'd get like one ad at the beginning and maybe one towards the end or in the middle somewhere. With WWE, no matter what content you're watching from them, if it's from their channel, you physically cannot go more than 5 minutes without having to watch 2 ads. And if you've watched that whole video and you decide to go back and backtrack in it, every 5 minutes worth of backtracking or skipping that you do makes you watch an ad. That's genuinely, and pardon my language, but that's fucking bananas. That's crazy to have that many ads. I can't watch their content. Until I have YouTube Premium, I refuse to watch any of their content from YouTube because it's riddled with ads. It's like I love watching Raw Recap. Raw Recap's one of my favorite podcasts to watch. It has our podcast Tribal Chief on there, but I can't watch it because it's on WWE's YouTube, so it's always has ads every 5 minutes. So in between him discussing the same topic with Megan Morant, I'm listening to at least 4 to 5 minutes of ads within a 10-minute conversation. Shouldn't be happening. So yes, I can listen to Sam Roberts' podcast, but I can't listen to the Monday morning recap. That's the Monday recap, Raw recap. It's unfortunate. And yeah, like I said, I know that's just a dying battle. I know that me saying this isn't going to change anything, but holy fuck, I guess I'm just saying it to be like, if you guys are dealing with this, a lot of you notice this as well, let me know, so that way I know I'm not crazy. But man, that's annoying. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk some wrestling. Hey, I'll be in the other fucking room. You guys want to talk about some fucking wrestling, all right? IRL camera fix right there yet again. That's how you get it raw and unfiltered here, except for the edits that I make. Of course, we're going to talk mostly about Survivor Series, but we do need to get through some important parts of this week, starting with Monday. First of all, something I want to talk about is the mini John Cena segment. I don't think it's that big of a deal as everybody else is making it out to be. Everybody's mad that like this seems like a Vince McMahon thing. This seems like a just cheesy. It was a little corny. It was a very played out thing. If you've watched wrestling from the 90s on, like that, that they've done over and over again little people that are supposed to be another person. Hornswoggle was like the king of that. He, mini AJ Styles. I don't think it's something that's that big of a deal, I thought that they were just trying to get the cheap heat by playing Cena's song. I think that they could have achieved the same thing by like just faking it out, like how Sean used to do. Play the song and then they don't ever come out and then you laugh it off. You laugh and you make fun of them. I think that's what could have been done. They went this route. What makes me more okay with it is the little person wrestler that they got is like, I even know that guy. I didn't know his name by full, but I saw him and I was like, I've seen clips of that guy online plenty of times. So what people need to accept more of is like, you're bashing all this stuff. That guy just went out there and gave his heart to that segment and all you're doing is like saying like, oh, that's messed up, that's cheap, that's bullshit, that's like, oh, well, that guy had just had the moment of his life. And it'd be great if you guys like appreciated it, which I know some people are like giving him, because he did do great. He did great as being Little John Cena. I'm so believable, to be honest. And you know, the critiques I'm hearing, like, oh, Wade Barrett laughing like Vince is yelling at him. I'm like, I think Wade Barrett was genuinely laughing. I think Wade Barrett actually thought that shit was fucking funny. It's Wade Barrett. It's not like he's got a low ball, like a very high threshold for humor. You know, also he's a commentator. They're supposed to be getting the segment over. So like, I don't think that it had anything to do with it. Just like, I don't know. It was, to me, something that didn't need to happen. Like I said, you could do less with more on that. But it's what happened, and it didn't take up too much time, and I thought it was fine. You know, as I'm going to talk about on Smackdown, people will complain about anything. That's one major thing we always remind and note about this on this show, is that if you're, you know, remembering that people will complain about everything, especially in the space of wrestling. I complain. I'm going to be complaining later on in the show. But some of those complaints can be a little without fact, and it just seems like you're just doing it to do it. The micro wrestlers, hearsay. What I don't like about Raw, something I didn't like, was Rey versus JD McDonough. I like that in the sense of JD McDonough getting TV time, but I was like, okay, so I'm about to watch JD McDonough job to Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio, in my opinion, he's not John Cena, and he's not these other dudes who are trying to put over wrestlers and give people the bump and stuff like that, like the rub, if you will. He's just going out there and making a fucking name for himself all the time. It's frustrating. It really is. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be like hyping up the gimmick and turning it up to 11 of like what Dom says about him, but now it's becoming true without it being on purpose. Like, Rey doesn't do anything to get into a program to boost anybody. The last group of guys he was supposed to boost are almost non-existent unless they're on AAA, LWO. Especially Phantasma, but specifically Santos Escobar. Like he where are they at? Those are the guys that Rey was supposed to be boosting up. None of them are anywhere. Even Zelina didn't get anywhere with it. Even Carlito didn't get anywhere with that. All of them, especially Carlito. Carlito went to the Judgment Day and did better than when he was with the LWO. Anybody who's under Rey's thumb doesn't go anywhere. And it shows. Dragon Lee's supposed to be the guy that Rey Mysterio says is the next best luchador. Doesn't mean shit. So, again, I'm not complaining about Rey. I'm telling you facts that, like, if you're asking, like, what is Rey doing to help out the next generation? I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he's not doing anything in the ring or on camera to help out. Tell me I'm wrong. Show me I'm wrong. Okay, next up is put some respect on Maxxine Dupri's name. I don't get it. She's supposed to be coming out of her shell, and now all of a sudden Ivy Nile confronts her and she's intimidated. I mean, so are we building to a more confident Maxxine Dupri, or is it just now she's got the title and she's scared? We'll see. Roxanne Perez is the next to intimidate her and get in her face, which, how long is Roxanne Perez going to do the most cringe, like, middle school girl character? It's worked on NXT a little bit, just a little bit, but on the main roster, I'm like, dude, you got big time players, big time storylines. This ain't it. What you're doing right now is not it. Well, because, you know, I think that title would look a lot better on me, to be honest with you. Hey, yeah, watch yourself, champ. Nobody's believing it. Nobody believes it. I don't believe it. I'm not buying it. It's strange, and especially because Adam Pearce has to be the one to come and save the day. I don't know. Out of that whole thing, I was not a fan of that. Did not like that. On top of not liking switching up to Penta and Penta getting an arm injury. Penta hurts his arm on a landing during the him and Solo Sikoa match for the John Cena Last Time Is Now tournament. I imagine Solo was going to win that match anyway. I believe the reports were that Solo was always planning to win that match anyway. But man, it would have been great to see a Solo versus Penta match, like a full-blown all the way through, which I'm sure there probably would have been some interference at some point. Penta versus Solo match. Great professionalism on Solo's part for doing the right thing, playing to the crowd the second that Penta got hurt, and not necessarily rubbing it in once Penta was hurt and lost the match. Instead, constantly staying stoic, apparently even yelling at some people in the crowd who were not confirmed to what they were saying, but it pissed off Solo enough to cuss them out. So that was a overall, it sucks. It's a shoulder injury. It's apparently it was just something like it popped out. So Penta is apparently going to be back like probably next week or the week after. So not ideal, not the worst case scenario. I'm okay with it. And the last big talking point would be, what a way to open the show. And I thought it to myself. I was like, I did call it. I'm gonna say I called it, but not like 100%, because there was no way I could have known for sure that they would all three, the top dogs, Cody, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns, come out and all three hit their catchphrases. The second Roman did it, and I realized this is go home. And when I heard Cody's, it wasn't until I heard Cody's music hit that I was like, is CM Punk also going to come out, and are they all going to hit their opening catchphrases? And it wasn't as cheesy as I thought it was going to be when they did it. Once they did it, especially with CM Punk, he like looked directly at fucking Roman, and I'm like, okay, Punk's the best because he himself probably thinks it's cheesy, but he's going to do it emphatically and stare at the other wrestlers to be like, isn't this fucking dumb what we're doing right now? But also, let's play it up, baby. So they're roundabout for who's the captain is fine. It helps for the story of what makes it interesting when they're War Games match. But the most interesting concept that came from it would be Roman saying that I think that title would look better on me. Of course, CM Punk then, who are you talking to, me or Cody? That's for you guys to figure it out. So I think personally that, like anybody they've talked about before, people talked about before, you can put Cody and Roman together at any point, anytime, and make a story out of it, and it'll work. They've shown that. I think it'd be more interesting to see Punk versus Roman in a title match at WrestleMania. But as it goes with Roman, we'll make money out of any of it. So for me personally, do whatever. But let me know what you guys think is the best possible option for that, or if you want those options at all. Of course, Monday ends with both War Games teams going at it. I think the baby faces got the better. Of course, the men lost the advantage match, but when it comes to the tussle, the men and the women on the babyface sides got the better of it. With Brock doing the infamous, now for the past week and a half now, the infamous slip on the ramp, which he recovered. I mean, man did a full backwards, barrel roll, got back up immediately, popped back to his feet, laughed it off. Listen, it gets confirmed. There was water on the ramp. Drew almost slipped. Who knows who has it out for Brock like that? That was wild. But Brock made it okay. It's not that even big of a deal. It's just a funny botch because Brock is such a beast that it's funny to watch him. I don't know. People forget funny Brock. People forget Brock is funny. Funny Brock and Brock is funny are two things. So it's fine. It's fine. We're skipping over NXT this week. Good job, NXT. We'll talk about you next week. We'll see you on the next one, just so we can skip right over to Friday. And I'd love to start with two things before I talk about any of the matches, before I talk about any of the progress, before I talk about anything that happened. I want to talk about, one, the reveal for the second commercial for the women for WrestleMania 42. The people who are complaining about this commercial, and both commercials in general, are not wrestling fans. And I hope that somebody out there who complains about those commercials watches this and hears me says that, and it pisses you off. And I hope it also makes you realize that you truly are not a wrestling fan, but you can be if you stop giving a fuck about the dumbest shit possible. That is a big portion of what's ruining our community and ruining everything about this sport. Is shit like that makes, because what you don't understand that you're doing too is that there are corporate people above some of these people who make decisions at WWE who will see collective dumb fucks like you complaining about the dumbest shit and choose that as what to focus on. Not pushing somebody like Austin Theory, not fixing the women's division, or women's tag team division specifically, not fixing the mid-card scene, not fixing the tag team title division on Smackdown. They are going to worry about commercials and publicity and names of things, because you're so worried about the wrong thing. Go care about naming of libraries and shit like that. Go do something in your community. Stop worrying about what a wrestling event is doing if that's what you're going to be complaining about. Complain about a wrestler, complain about a program, complain about a match, complain about something that has substance to the actual art itself instead of bitching and moaning about a fucking commercial. It is banana sandwich. First of all, I'll say I like the commercials so far. Every single one they've put out, I thought was fine. Everybody complained because they thought it was something else. That was on their own fault for thinking it's something else and making assumptions, not knowing what the fuck it is. And then once they found out it was a WrestleMania 42 commercial, they were like, oh man, that's stupid. What dumb things? I'm like, you didn't even know what it was. Because it wasn't what you thought, it's dumb now? It's a great commercial for WrestleMania 42. And how people forget, it's also the thing in this company, in this community, is that people forget the things they complained about 6 months ago, which I'll remind you, you were complaining about WWE not promoting their PLEs enough. First of all, they spent a month and a half promoting Survivor Series, which was great. Now they're letting you know months in advance with commercials and promos that they're filming WrestleMania 42. The last time they promoted one so big was WrestleMania 40, and it was great. I'm not saying that makes every WrestleMania or PLE great if they promote it with commercials months ahead, but I'm just saying, do that math. WrestleMania 41 feels like the commercials were thrown together last second with Triple H. Everybody knows he played the same commercial for about a month of the same shit. Now we have different ones and everybody's complaining. Everybody says it's not enough. It's insane. So first you were mad because of what it is, now you're mad it's not enough. So let me break it down for you what people have been getting upset about. The commercial drops. I think it's something else. They get upset when they find out what the commercial is. Now the commercial's out. Now they're complaining about the fact that Brock's in it. Now the commercial's out. Now they're complaining that it's the same commercial because they have no patience and they don't understand that WWE's releasing the other segments, which I figured. I was like, oh, they're gonna have everybody say something because Cody, I believe, was the first. It was either Cody or Roman, either way. But they're gonna release it per week. Who's saying something? I mean, it seems fine to me. Everybody, that was a problem. They didn't like that. Then in the midst of all that, for some reason, because people love to complain and freak out about stuff, the women aren't even in the commercial. There's no commercial for the women. Where are the women at? Okay, sure, fine. And again, I don't think that WWE used this to react. I think that they were already filming the women's commercial and they just had to put it out once it was done. People seem to forget that things don't just happen like magic and instantaneously because that's how they think. So the commercial gets done. They finally put out this women's commercial. I'm like, tight, okay. I didn't think it was as cool as the men's, which it is what it is. But other people thought it was fucking tight. They decided to use it to take shots at Triple H for whatever fucking reason. And then once it's done, the complaints roll in. So you get the women's commercial, and now you're upset because there's no Stephanie Vaquer, there's no Julia, there's no Liv Morgan. Make it make sense, you guys. What do you want? What do you want? Like, where is the complaints coming from? That's insane. You have almost every time. They have so many top female stars. You could say the same thing about the male side. You could say that they didn't have plenty of guys from the male side that are top stars. LA Knight's not in the fucking commercial. Sami Zayn, for all you Sami Zayners out there, isn't in the commercial. Like, I don't get it. Braun Breaker's not in the fucking commercial. Like, but you're not sitting there complaining, but instead the women's come out and all of a sudden because Stephanie and Liv and Julia aren't in the commercial sucks. And WWE, it's typical WWE, quote, typical WWE booking. I'm like, it's a fucking commercial for a fucking event that you will undoubtedly either stream or pay for. So what the complaint about is, it really, again, make it make sense, my guys. I don't understand it. Liv Morgan comes back at Survivor Series, so you still got Liv Morgan. Stephanie Vaquer was performing at fucking Survivor Series, so she was probably fucking tied up. I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of them that were there were performing at Survivor Series, so I don't know. Who cares? Why should you care? Stephanie Vaquer is regularly on TV every single week and had a PLE title defense match and won. Julia's got some issues. We'll say that. Liv Morgan was on fucking injury and she just came back in Survivor Series, so she probably didn't want to even be on the commercial to help her fucking surprise factor. I just don't. Like I said, those people are not fans. So when you hear those complaints, know that you're listening to somebody who is just following news and or follows the product loosely, just simply to have an agenda. That's insane. That's crazy. And they can sit there and defend themselves all they want about, oh no, I'm I'm a bigger fan than you because they're not. Don't worry about it. A fan cares about the product. A fan cares about what's being shown to them. A fan cares about their wrestlers. A fan cares about their safety. You care about the right things, not what a fucking commercial is supposed to be telling you. That's craziness. That's crazy work. So I really had to dig into that because it's just been week after week of complaints of this shit. And it's like, are you guys even watching the show? Or are you waiting for the commercial to come on so you can fly to Twitter and complain to Triple H, who does not care about your complaints, mind you? Now, let's talk about my gripe, my complaint, which involves Jade Cargill yet again. And I'll say this, I'm going to say that I'm not going to say that there's been fans or communities that have been supporting this. I'll say it's specifically WrestleMania who is saying that this is a good thing, and I'm taking issue with it. I'm taking issue with the whole segment on Friday of Jade Cargill coming out during Chelsea Green's celebration. Make it make sense. Again, people are saying, oh, it's because she's just terrorizing people now. When people terrorize people on those shows, I have heard, now I will call fans out, I have heard nothing but fan complaints. Oh, they're not doing nothing. They're just out there. What's has to do with the story? What's that have to do with them? Why'd they beat that person up? Why'd they beat this person up? I want it to make sense. Oh, but if Jade Cargill does it, it just makes sense, right? She's just a terrorizer, just beating people up, right? No. She wins a title from Tiffany after getting multiple losses, so she finally wins. Her first ever match is a squash match against B-Fab. She still has not had another match, and all she's done is bully Chelsea Green. What? So again, so does that mean you want the US title as well? Does that mean you're just bullying people? Because both don't make any sense, and both would be a dumb thing to push and plan. But according to WrestleMania, they're happy that WWE is turning this up to 11 on her character and making it much more. I don't know. I don't know what it could be more of before, except for more of nonsense. It has. I don't get it. She's out there. She doesn't say a single fucking thing. Interrupts Chelsea's performance just to simply do it. There's no rhyme or reason behind it. She's supposed to be a bad guy, right? So if she's a bad guy, then why is she messing with Chelsea's stuff? It doesn't make any sense. Because you can't tell me she's a good guy. She just squashed B-Fab and she's been bullying everybody. So don't sit there and be like, well, she's a good guy. And if she's a tweener, she shouldn't care that Chelsea Green is out there doing what she's doing. The dumbest shit, man. It's so dumb. It makes zero sense. Her as champion makes zero sense. It's boring. It's bleh. I feel like they're just holding out until Bianca's back. And then praise Odin. If Bianca comes back and takes that title off her, then we'll actually have somebody with fucking substance and character development, and somebody who's actually won with the crowd and the ring. Jade Cargill just out there doing the same bullshit every time. Pump kick. Jaded. That's it. Eye of the Storm. Some other moves that she kind of half-ass gets. Come on. Tell me I'm fucking wrong. I'm not. That's it on Jade Cargill. That's my complaint. And that's a complaint with substance, with facts, with backing to it. Because you can go back and watch her match. You can go back and watch this whole past few weeks. You can see that everything I've said about her has been actually factually accurate in the ring, proven in front of your eyes. Nothing made up here. Unreal. I hate it. Moving on. All we really have left is we can bring it back to Raw as well with the same thing, but the last time is now tournament with putting the Miz in against LA Knight. It's just as dumb as having Jey Uso continuously progress in the tournament. Having Jey Uso beat the people that he's beat so far is annoying, especially knowing that nobody wants him anywhere. He should have zero to do with any of this, but he does for some reason, and he keeps getting pushed forward into it. The Miz, on the other hand, has tons of reasons to be pushed so far into this. Tons of reasons to the point where he should have already had a match with John Cena, and that if it wasn't for Gunther merely existing, that it would probably be The Miz getting the last opponent, getting the last match with John Cena. Now, that being said, why even do this with The Miz on Friday? Why get him back into the tournament against LA Knight? Just the second I saw that it was going to be Miz, I was like, well, they're not going to have Miz beat LA Knight. Otherwise, then we definitely know that they don't like LA Knight. But instead, The Miz does get put in. He goes against LA Knight and loses. Come on, man. Come on. So now it's being pretty obvious that we're going to get a Jey Uso Gunther rematch for the finals, and that sucks. That really, really fucking sucks. Nobody wants that rematch. Nobody wants to see that match again. We're gonna have to get it for an obvious winner of Gunther to go against John. So now they've made this from what was exciting to be a tournament to too obvious already coming into the semifinals, and now we just know who's gonna win. Great matches from Gunther out of it so far. That's been cool. That's been great. Women took the War Games advantage. I thought that they were the best part of the night throughout the entirety of the night. Uncle Howdy comes back, gives a Sister Abigail to Solo after they win the classic Survivor Series match. People talking about they want the Survivor Series match back. I don't like it. I think the eliminations are underwhelming. I think the match itself is kind of boring. I'm not a fan. I want to keep War Games all the way through. Yeah, don't touch my War Games. I like Survivor Series War Games more than I like traditional Survivor Series. That being said, great match between them. And the only other thing I have left for Smackdown is something that didn't even happen this week, but something that happened last week, which was the heat that DIY got, specifically Candice LeRae, for the way that they ripped off Axiom's masks in the tag team match. Whoa. The crowd did not like that. It's something about, because it was Candice LeRae and the way she did it. It was just something about it was just way more disrespectful. Like, it wasn't just a mask tear off. Like, she did it with visceral hate, and boy did they get fucking heat for it. So DIY with an instant end up gaining more heat and traction yet again. Ain't going nowhere, baby. That all being said, that leads us into Survivor Series. That leads us into War Games. So, as Trick Williams would say, let's talk about it. So, War Games, Petco Stadium in San Diego. First of all, I don't know if that was their first time at a baseball stadium, but boy, was it cool. Very cool looking. The dugout thing, awesome. When I heard Triple H say it at the top during the pre-show, oh, they're going to be coming out of a dugout, I was like, how's that going to fucking work? Awesomely, that's how it's going to work. And what I liked about War Games this year compared to last year was the no cage. I didn't like that cage thing that they were locked in. I don't know if that's what they've always done or whatever, but them coming out with their entrances was great. But it also led for some comedic fucking moments, because women's War Game starts the night, and off and on, like, some of them, their music hits, and you know, they come out and hit their pose real quick, and then they run to the ring, or a lot of them were just simply walking to the ring. And so many times Cole would call it out and be like, they better hurry up. Same for Bear. They need to get to the ring because their team's getting beat down. And it's like, very funny. The best was Kairi Sane, who slow as fuck. And again, she still thinks she's a babyface sometimes. I almost want to say that she's doing it on purpose. Like, it's a heel move, that she's trying to be ignorantly bliss to the fact that people don't like her. And she's just like, no, people still love me. So I'm kind of chalking it up to that, but most people are saying that she's having a hard time differing. But man, was it so funny that she's supposed to be the numbers gaining advantage, so that way they can, or you know, equaling out, and they're getting their ass beaten there. And Kyrie's like, hi everybody. She's doing some of these, and she's waving. She's got her little pirate thing, and I mean, it is so comical how long it took her to get to the ring. The other thing I'll say about the entrances, I guess, shouts out to Rhea Ripley and the Terrifier get up. Awesome. Great choice. The thing looked not only scary, but very cool. I know that they had to go with the way that they went with people coming in and out, because that the baby face for the women won the advantage. So that means all 5 of them were going to come out before all 5 of the heels. That being said, number 5 for the baby faces was Rhea Ripley. Biggest pop of the night, undoubtedly. Black and purple pyro smoke in the background. Comes out with weapons, comes out with EOS trash can, Terrifier mask. Badass aura filling a baseball stadium. Who's coming out last for the women's side? Lash Legend. Who is, again, before I say this, I'm telling you, we all love Lash Legend, okay? She's a woman of the people. Okay, we love her. Her right hand, she got in there, started hitting right hands. It was tight. Okay, but when it comes to an entrance level of like how to keep things rising, man, you went from up here to way down here, because her music starts with a skirt, and it's funny, but like for a baseball stadium, people who more than likely don't know who she is, it's just more annoying than anything. And her song's okay. It's not great. It's okay. It's bouncy, and she was feeling it. I'll give her that. But man, there was not a lot of people cheering. There was not a lot of people booing. It was more just people indifferently, just kind of like, here comes the last entrant for the bad guys. So there we go. I wish they would have thought about that before and been like, oh shit, if we do that, then that means Rhea's gonna come out then Lash, and that's not gonna work. So we need to do Lash then Rhea. Or at least, had Becky come out as like the last one, something, because you needed some kind of bigger pop than that. But it's okay. That's okay. That's just a little nitpick. I thought that was funny more than anything, because the women's war game match was incredible. I really appreciate Nia as always, who something I think Nia is trying to achieve more. It's something I noticed. I don't know this for sure, but it seems like she's trying to be more of a ring general in there, like Bayley. I noticed that when she got into the cage, I would say about 5-10 minutes in, she was calling some spots and helping navigate, and she does that regularly. I know there's a ton of people who for some reason still think that she's not good, or careless, or whatever the case may be, but it's really not the case. She really does know what she's doing in there. She slips up just like anybody else does, and I think that she's working as hard as she can to get to a level of respect and trust that like someone like Bayley has. So I love that. I noticed it. I don't know if that's the full intent or anything like that, but that's just something that I'm kind of catching on to with that. Everything else in the match went great. Everybody was making me laugh. Kairi Sane makes me laugh so fucking hard. They put the spot in the match where Asuka's getting beat up and Kairi's like taunting and all of a sudden you hear from across the ring, Kairi! And Asuka's screaming Kairi until Kairi gets over there. That was a great spot to do. Charlotte and Rhea hitting the double suckets, of course, great. Alexa climbing the cage was great. And the whole time, all of us, we're all wondering the same thing. What is Io going to do with that trash can? How's she going to do it this time? So she comes out with the trash can lid, so we know that the trash can's coming. There's no trash can, but she has an Io Sky trash can lid. That means something's going to happen. Of course, Rhea comes out later with 2 trash cans, one of which being Io's. Has the white paint, has Io Sky written on it. So we know now. Now we know. War games begin, and the trash can's in the match. So now it's the whole anticipation. The women, and they did it in a way that didn't seem very obvious. Like, it wasn't like 10 seconds before the spot happened, you knew. Once it got set up, yes, but like setting up to the spot, like normally oftentimes with a spot like that, the women are already kind of collectively getting up in a group, and you can tell that they're about to take some big collective bump. Not what was happening, because instead they got intuitive with it, and Io was already at the top of the cage, essentially hinting that I'd like to hit the top of the cage spot, please. Now she's realizing I need my trash can. Who's gonna hand her the trash can? Might as well somebody hand it to her. All the baby faces are up, all the bad guys are down. Somebody can just hand me the trash can. AJ Lee's little ass, I got you. What a great spot for her to be jumping and trying to get the trash can to Io, but she can't reach. And for Rhea to come up and be like, do you need some help? And AJ, yes, please. And Rhea lifts her up on AJ on her shoulders, hands the trash can to Io. Beautiful setup. Comedy, teamwork, wrestling. Io puts the trash can on, all the women get set up to take the bump. What's Io gonna do? She's done a crossbody inside the trash can. She's done a moonsault with the trash can. What's next? Swanton. Io said, bet. Swanton. That was, she saw Tiffany do that Swanton last year, and she was like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that with a trash can on me, though. So cool. So cool. I hope she keeps doing it until she runs out of ideas. And then when she runs out of ideas, do a crossbody again. I don't care. It'll be so cool. Man, it's the greatest thing to look forward to every year at War Games, as long as Io's in it. And Io, I agree with Cole, is hands down, bar none, probably, I mean, there's so many great wrestlers on both sides, but especially on the men's side. But I would say definitely, undoubtedly, best female wrestler, greatest female wrestler of all time. And she has an argument to be at least in the top 5. Like, if you're making a Mount Rushmore, I think that Io Sky should be on that Mount Rushmore, to be honest with you. Sure, she may not have done stuff that like Charlotte Flair has done for the business, or like a Rhea Ripley, or like a Becky Lynch, but man, her contributions nowadays, and when she has been in there since NXT, New Japan, come on, man. Those contributions are Mount Rushmore worthy. The women's match ends beautifully. Everybody hit their little finishers on Becky in such a great way. Rhea hits the Riptide, stacks her up, folds her up, pushes her up, and then sets up AJ Lee to do a picture perfect submission. I always forget the name of her fucking submission, but I know it's hard to land. That shit is hard to land. So much so that when she first came back and landed on Becky, it took her a few tries to try to get it in there. Picture perfect, gets it in immediately, looks so good. And I mean, the taunts, everything, the pictures afterwards, everything. No turns on anybody, nobody turned on anybody. Amazing ending to that. It's honestly what should have closed in comparison to the men's, no offense. The next match would be John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio. It wasn't a match like how John has been giving us recently, but it was a really good match, and there's no denying that. It definitely played on a lot of like the lying and cheating that Dominic does now. It wasn't too like, oh, John's just gonna do the same thing or hit a bunch of like old school finishers or finishers that he knows. They kind of kept it classic, and I liked that. Shouts out to the moment of him trying to do it's genuinely, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I cried on the entrance. I cried when he came in, like on his entrance. I cried when they did the announcement, and I cried during the 5-knuckle shuffle. But then it made me laugh because, of course, he throws it up, and the whole fucking stadium is like, "You can't see me," and he's like, and then he does the "you can't see me." Everybody does it with him, and John stops to give everybody a thumbs up because they did it properly, and I'm like, that was very nice. Gonna miss that guy, man. Gonna miss that guy. But he loses because the ref gets knocked down. Very constant for John's last, which I think is needed. It opens up the possibilities in your mind in the middle of the John match, again, knowing that these are his last matches. That was his second to last. The last time he's gonna wrestle, December 13th. We're 12 days away. And when that happens, you start opening up like, oh my god, anybody can come in. Anybody can come in and interact with John at this moment. That's the excitement. And I don't think anybody saw it coming, but I was texting my buddy, and I said, I think that the only good way to get another person involved in this match that would make Dominic win, that would make sense, is if you get Liv Morgan to come out and cause some kind of distraction for either for John to accidentally win or for Dom to win. And it's exactly what happened. My excitement when you heard Liv's music hit and she ran down in that, what I would call like almost like a Too Cool / Lita combo that she was doing. More likely she's doing an homage to Lita, but the gloves with the yellow, that's Grandmaster Sexay right there. So I didn't know fully what she was paying homage to, but she has the Dominic's mask on her jeans, which is why when they did the fake turn, like her hitting Dom, I was like, she wouldn't do all that to turn on him. She wouldn't put the shit on her pants to turn on him. That's crazy. So then, of course, Liv jumps all over John, which I'm like, yo, man's got a wife. You better back up. And then, of course, it's all for the fact that she puts on the crazy eyes, backs up, kicks John in the balls, sets him up for the 619, and you have your new Intercontinental and AAA Campeon, Dominic Mysterio. It's a great way to win the match. It's a great way to do all of that. Like I said, now you have John who not only got to interact with Roxanne Perez and Raquel, but also Liv Morgan. So he got to interact with 3 female wrestlers that are like leading the charge of this generation. And he got to put over Dominic in a great match in a sold out San Diego Padres Stadium. Like, come on. It's pretty good. Following was the Stephanie Valkyrie and Nikki Bella match. Solid. 7 out of 10. Great work by Stephanie as always. Better than I expected from Nikki Bella. Not much else to say about that. You did good. You did your job. That's all that matters. I don't think that anybody can have too much negative to say about that. They did what they were supposed to do, and it worked out well. Thank you for your service. And thank you for San Diego for when she hit the Devil's Kiss to hit the I hate when I hear the counts. Ending with the men's War Games match. Listen, it was an interesting match. It was an interesting match. It was genuinely my least favorite part of War Games the entire night. I liked everything else more than the men's War Game match. I'll say that the part that weirded me out the most in the night was when Brock left the cage and Michael Cole and myself were like, he just forfeit. But if I still haven't gone back to look, but I guess it says in the rules that rule doesn't apply until the match actually begins, once all 10 members are in the ring. So apparently Brock was able to leave the ring, beat up Roman like he did, and then get back in. That was what they were being told on commentary, so that's what I'm gonna believe. But at first I was like, Brock messed up big time. And he very well could. If it does not say that in the beginning rules, then that means Brock messed up and they changed the rules on the fly. But it seems like that may in fact be the rules. Brock comes in there and kills everybody. I'll tell you why I was disappointed was because in the match, you get a moment between Cody and Punk, where Cody elbows Punk by accident, and they have a moment of like, what's going on? Punk like helps save Cody, and then they have like another little face off, and it just like, when I think it would have made more sense to have deception in the ranks of the Vision with Brock, because then you get to set up Brock Braun, you can set up Brock Bronson, you can set up Brock Drew. Like, you could have set up at least one or two of those simply by having them have an interaction where Brock's taking over too much and they're like, yo, chill out, we have a plan, and Brock's like, I'm not following your fucking plan, and that causes some it wouldn't even have to make them lose. Like, they could have just had that to set something up, but instead it was just a clean beat down and win. Well, up until a mysterious person came in and stomped, what was it, Punk? Yeah, I think it was Punk. Whack. Very whack way to end. And I'll tell you why I'm even more mad. It's kind of on Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman hyped up this PLE in this match specifically to say that you will be seeing who is in the picture for WrestleMania 42 with this match. You are getting a preview into what WrestleMania 42 will look like with this match. We did not get that. Like I said, we got a little back and forth between Cody and Punk. We got nothing with Roman and everybody. Roman and Brock mostly went at it. And then the Vision just kind of did their thing. Like, and then a mysterious figure who I'm being told it was Austin Theory, just disguised to pretend to be Seth Rollins, came in and finishes the match. Is that really what we want? Is that really how the night was? And that's how the night ends with the bad guys winning, walking out of the cage, and walking away as they cut to credits. No payoff. They go into the ring and they show Roman, Cody, and Punk. Roman's just disappointed, and that's it. End show. Done. Roll credits. That's it. No big turn. No big fight between two people. No surprise person. No nothing. And this is not a case where it's like, oh, well, you can't just expect a surprise. We would not be if Paul Heyman didn't do that. That's on Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman set us up for failure when it came to expecting something gigantic. Not cool. Not cool. Let me know what you think about the entire Survivor Series, both War Games matches, and let me know if maybe I'm missing something. Maybe something really cool comes from this, and I'm missing something that should be like a very good setup that I'm not seeing. Because unless Seth Rollins is coming back in the next few months to set up 42, I don't know. And even then, if for it to be Rollins, what made me upset is like, if it's Rollins, then he like it makes zero sense for him to get put out by the Vision and him come back and not attack the Vision. It just help me make it make sense. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. I appreciate it. Best of luck for the rest of this week. Careful out there doing your Christmas shopping, And we'll see you guys next week with some more Wrestle Talk.
Bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, bye, bus driver.